Hello, everybody. This is Joe Friellenhoven, and tonight we're going to talk about the three P's, and that's planning, promotion, and patience. We're going to talk about how I use Team Elite Responder and some other sites to build a list. So the first part, the planning part, is we're going to talk about building a list. Most every let me just a couple of things I want to do here. Let me put the chat open. I'll put the chat open, so if somebody can't hear me, you can let me know. But I can see my sound. This looks pretty decent. So planning, promotion, and patience. I call that the three P's. Most marketers, I don't know of any of them that don't believe that the most powerful thing you can do on the internet is build a list. To build a list of people, you can call them leads, you can call them opt-ins, whatever you choose to call them. But you want to build a relationship with these people, and the best way to do that, and this was developed years ago, and is still the very best way, is to use an autoresponder. And I don't personally care what autoresponder you use, but tonight I'll be talking about Team Elite Responder because I happen to own that site. But it doesn't matter. What I'm going to be discussing applies to any autoresponder. So we're going to be talking about, in the planning phase, how to build a list. We're going to touch quite a bit on lead capture pages because there's so much happening in that area, and also on auto responses because there again there's so much happening in that area. The second thing we're going to talk about tonight is promotion. Primarily myself, I deal in email marketing promotion. That's safe viral mailers, traffic exchanges, text ad exchanges, banner exchanges, Facebook and Twitter as my main sources of promotion. There are many, many others, but that's what I'll be talking about some tonight. And finally, we're going to talk about in detail HTML form code and how it's added to sites, blogs, etc. Quite a bit more on lead capture pages and auto responses. So I'm going to start with some basic information that you need to know that's happening out there. Is that, and one of the things is most websites on the net, they end up with only a few people promoting them. And there's a reason for that. The reason is very simple, is that most members are not patient enough to see their efforts succeed. And I want to say this, and you can write this down. If you'll listen to what I'm going to present, you'll be able to promote any site you want and make money on any site you join. There's really no reason to be jumping around so much from site to site. You could actually produce the income you want from most any of the sites you're joining. There's a lot of them out there. There's millions of them. What you need knowledge. You need to know what it is you need to do to build that relationship with people and to build your list. Now, one of the other things is it's extremely important, along with patience. Now, if you're not patient, that's going to exude from you in what you say, in what you think, and how you project yourself, your body language, and your writing, and everything you do. It's just going to, and it is going to set you up for failure 100% of the time. When you start using words like, well, the owner knows more about this than me, let me ask him. What you're saying, you're telegraphing loud and clear. Go buy from the owner. That's why the owners get 80% of, sometimes 80% of the sales and 80% of the income. People just are not patient enough to believe in as does the owner, and so they don't promote the site. Another one is it's better to say in that case, hey, listen, let me double check this. I want to make sure, and I'll get back with you. And then another one that people say is, I haven't made much money yet, but I'm trying. What you're saying with that, you're telegraphing it's better to buy from somebody else because you don't seem to be interested in it. So the first thing is, what you want to do is you want to believe in what you are doing. If you do not believe in what you're doing, for God's sakes, don't do it. Because you're hurting yourself and you're hurting the people that you are coming in contact with. If you must believe in what you're doing, you must believe in the sites you're promoting. If you don't, it's just all over. It's in your writing. It's in everything. And that, along with patience, you're going to fail. I don't want to be negative, but you have got to believe in what you're doing, and you have got to believe in yourself, and you have got to be patient. And I'm not talking about waiting 10 years on something, but I'm talking about a year. Now, I'm not saying that you're not going to make any money before the year is up. You may, if your goal is to make $50,000 a month, in 6 months you might be making half that, if you're on the right track. Okay, now that's why most of the sites that I become in contact with, and it drives me crazy, is after about 6 months or even before that, my downlines look like Swiss cheese. I get the emails, this is not working out for me. 30 days is long enough. It's not working out. It's not working out. That's all I hear is not working out. And yet, I'm continuing to make money with it, and I more or less tell them, if you'll just be patient, the way it works is if you'll start to help, this thing will work. I'll give you one example. In one site, I'm not going to say what it was. You'll figure it out probably, but anyways, it costs $10 a month, and you get a $1 commission, 5 levels deep. So you can actually put someone or anyone that you refer under you in your downline to make them $1 also. So that's why they end up saying things like, I'll put 6 people in your downline or whatever, and they will, they can, because it doesn't cost them anything to do that. So in about 3 months, I was generating about 40 new members a month to this site. And after 6 months, or 4 months, something like that, I had about 200 members in my downline. I took a look, and I had generated 95% of all the members in the downline. There were 200 members in the downline producing 5 members a month, and I was producing 45. And I said to myself, what's going on? What is wrong? What is wrong? What was wrong was, number one, is everybody else was looking for some kind of the easy button, and that was a mistake I was making, was kind of promoting the easy button. If you're going to make it on the internet, you're going to have to understand. Then when it says downline builder or build a downline, for the most part, you're going to have to build that downline yourself. If you rely on somebody else to build your downline, you're going to be where you are right now tonight, in the same place about 10 years from now, looking at another video from somebody explaining how he's doing very well and you're still not doing flip. So I'm going to get away from the negative now. There's enough of that. So what we're talking about, if you want to be successful online, you have to learn how to build a list. Now, what kind of success am I talking about? I don't like to tell people how much money I make, but let's just say that it's enough. And I can make about as much as I want to, depending on how hard I want to work. Once you understand what I'm going to just show you tonight, you'll see the same thing. There are so many opportunities out there. The biggest problem I have is deciding what advertising site I want to jump on next. Now, I don't jump from site to site so much is I join a lot of advertising sites, not so much sites, maybe some site that's going to do this or do that. I'm more interested in advertising sites to build my list. Okay, so we're going to talk about your list, opt-ins, referrals, whatever. What we want to do is build a relationship with these people, and that's where the autoresponder comes in. Now, what I'm going to do right now is we're going to cut to Team Elite Responder, and I'm going to show you some things about lead capture pages as we go along there. Now, here's the thing about lead capture pages, and as I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and go to screen share and start the screen share. That means it's working. We're just going to, first thing we're going to do is we'll go to Team Elite Responder. I have used this big long page here. I have used this as a lead capture page. I have also used, let me go ahead, I'm already logged in here. I'll show you some lead capture pages that I've also used. If you go to Affiliate Tools, it adds leads profits, and there are these splash pages down here. I think number 7 is one. There's a small one there, you see. Now both of them work very well. Now this one works very well on traffic exchanges because those people are you've only got them for a couple of seconds. The other one that I showed you, in fact, let me go over here, and here's one of them here. Just to zoom in on this one. Use this one a lot. It's fairly short too. I'm just showing you different kind of lead capture pages right now. Some people use very long ones. Some people use very short ones. You know what the secret of lead capture pages is? The secret of lead capture pages is use what works for you. Very simple. Use what works for you. If you have something that's generating you a lot of leads, stick with it. Then you may have to just make changes here and there. So you use what works for you. So now, and some people are using pages on a blog. Now, most of the time, when people are using pages, long pages, or whatever, they're going to have form code. I'm just going to show you very quickly how simple it is to put form code anywhere on a blog, on a page, on a website, whatever. First thing you use, you just give it a name. Okay. The second thing you do is you're going to select from one of the leads folders, and we'll touch on that a little bit more later. You select whichever leads folder you want. The third thing you do, you type in the redirect URL, which is where you want the people to go when they put their name and email into the form. And then you just click update form, and it will generate for you form code, and you copy this form code right here, this code, and this is kind of a preview that you can test, and you can put that form code in any place that will handle form code. WordPress blogs, web pages. So don't be confused and think that you're limited lead capture pages by some of the samples that are here at the site. Now, here's the thing. Team Elite Responder is what's known as a team build platform autoresponder. What that means is the team leader will put a lot of information available for you to use. The key thing is it's a lot of information on this site that you can use. It is expected that you put it in your own words and use it with your personality and all that on it. That's really, and you'll see as I go along here what I'm talking about more and more. So the first thing we want to do is just to look at lead capture pages, and the way you would do that on Team Elite Responders, you'd go to Change Capture Page, and what you're going to see is a whole bunch of them here that myself as the team leader have put in here that you can use. The first is the default, which are all of these here, all of these lead capture pages, and then there's personal, and then there's all kinds of these other ones, which I'm not going to get into that. So let's just pick one right now. We're just going to pick one here. I'm just going to pick this one here, and you click Edit Page. Now, here's some things for you to remember about editing lead capture pages as a Team Elite Responder. This little is called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Editor, very common. If you go to Google and Google help me with what you see is what you get, it will give you instructions on what every one of these things mean up here. And it's not the purpose tonight to do that, but you can add pictures, upload an image. This is all your uploaded images. There's a graphics folder, graphical content boxes. You can add embedded video. You can insert HTML code. All of this stuff is there for you to change this capture page in any way that you want. Now, up here at the top, you have the basic settings, which you give it the title, what contact group, that's the lead group again, the redirect URL, and every lead capture page can have its own redirect. So you just put in there where you want the people to go when they fill in that form that's at the bottom. More importantly, I want to show you this. Duplicate this page, reload the original page. Now, duplicate this page means when you click that, it's going to put a copy of this page into your personal folder. Reload the original page. Remember that I said that Team Elite Responder is about team build. Reload the original page will reload the page that me as the owner has back in my master file. If I had done some editing today or yesterday or whenever, and you didn't click this, when you click this, you're going to be up to date with what I have on my site with the original. That's what this reload the original means. Duplicate this page means that it's going to put you a new copy in your personal folder. Okay. So now let's see here. We'll go back here, and it's really very simple. In the case here, if you just keep pulling it down, all of this stuff you can edit it and change the color, change the font, change the size. You can put in highlight and you can take it out. And these words here, like I said, it would be nice if you put some of this in your own words. Put a little comment down here about who you are. Whereas this here means first name, last name, email. I've got that set up for all the teams so they don't have to put their own name in there every time. But in this case, if you wanted to see what it looked like, you hit View Page, and you see the page. You see the opt-in form here. You see how the page lays out, and somewhere along in there would be nice to put in. You see, it's got my information from that. You would could put in something about yourself. You want to start building that relationship right from the beginning when they first see it. Okay, so back to what we're talking about, lead capture pages as a part of Team Elite Responder. You have many, many choices, and you can edit those in any way that you so desire. You can add pictures. You can click on this, take that, hit the delete, put another picture in there. You can create your own by the same way. You can take any one of those pages. I'm going to go back to the home. You can create any one of those pages, any page from any page. If you go back here to change capture page, you can select any of these multiple pages and just make a copy of it, and it'll put it right here in your personal folder. So it's really much simpler. People have really gotten confused, but there's nothing to it. Now the next thing we want to talk about is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to I'm going to go to my associates and log into her account, because it'll make more sense as far as editing auto responses. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is editing auto responses. The lead capture page is going to capture their name and email and whatever else you decide, and place it into a folder. Now, on this page right here are all of the folders that are available. Remember, again, this is a team build, and these are members' messages, not just mine, but member messages that I have gathered for all of us to use. All right, we're going to talk about Team Elite Responder, and to see these messages, you click on that plus sign. The messages open up, and it shows you that this one here is going to be sent instantly, this one after 2 days, this one after 4 days, this one after 7 days, and on and so on. If you want to edit the message, you click on the little tablet over here, and it's going to show you the message as it is. And usually it has something down here. Oops, see there's a case where you see that. See, that needs to be taken out of there, and that's a good thing. I'm glad that showed up. So this is what you would do. You would put in your email, or a email, which means it's code for your email down here at the bottom. All these codes as it explains them, and then update the message. Now, so whatever you decide to promote, if you decide to promote Team Elite Responder, then you want to go through these messages and customize them, make sure your information is in there. Remember, what you're seeing is a copy of the messages that I have been using. Now, what we want to do is, I want to show you something. We're going to go down here, and you see there's another one down here that says messages available. Okay, you see this one right here? Team Elite Responder Collective Team Marketing Messages. Load all the messages. Let's say that I sent everybody an email. I said that I have redone all the messages, reload them. And you can either reload them or not reload them, but if you chose to use the messages that I'm using again, you click on Load All Team Elite Messages, and what it's going to do, it's going to load them up here on top, because the top part are all your messages, the bottom part are all the master messages or my messages that you can load. You notice on the bottom it says load. It doesn't say anything about editing. And if you open this up here, there's no thing over here for you to edit, because you can't edit these. These are mine. But you can copy them. And you can click this and copy only one, or you can copy all of them. So you go back up here now. We're going to open up Team Elite Responder, and we're going to notice that there's a whole different message in this first message. It's a whole different message than it was, because I had edited, and you see now it's got it's all different. But it does have first name, last name, email, for the AF name is this is the member, which is what you are, and the AL name is your member's last name. What you can do, like I said, the ones above are yours. You can just take all this out if you want, make it simple. Just put your information in there. And if there's any links in there, just follow them, like on this. Click on that, see where it's going by clicking on that link thing, and put your link in there. That's all there is to it. Is you need to just make these messages where they're yours. Put in some of your words. So that's what Team Elite Responder is about, is to give you a shell, to give you a outline, but not necessarily, no one can give you, it's not the purpose of Team Elite Responder in the sense to write your speeches, but it's to give you all these tools. Some people use them just like they are. As you go along, you'll find that you'll probably enjoy it better to put your own words in there a little bit. Now, there's one last thing I want to get into here, and it's add an auto response message. So if you wanted to add a message, very simple, you put in a subject, you put in the body of the message, and let's say that you want to send it after 2 days or whatever you want to send it, and then you decide what, in this case, let's say you want to add one to Team Elite Responder. You select that, put in the message, and hit add. Now you want to make sure that there's not already a message going out after 2 days or 27 days or whatever. Otherwise, you're going to kick an error message back. So that's all there is to adding an auto message, is put in the subject, put in what you want to send with a link usually, and when you want to send it after so many days, making sure that the Team Elite Responder messages doesn't have a message already set for that same day. Click add message and you're done. So go back to home here, and that's the basics of editing auto responses and lead capture pages. Those are the two. I'm going to go back now to live. Let me just go back here to live. Just for go back to live, and we talked now about lead capture pages, auto responses. We'll talk a little bit about, that's the plan to build your list. The second thing is to promote. I primarily use email marketing, and that's where I join a lot of safe lists, a lot of traffic exchanges, TextNet exchanges, do some advertising on Facebook, even Twitter. Personally, for me, the safe list for me has been where I do have my greatest success. Now, that's not true for everybody. Some people love traffic exchanges. I think it's just a matter of what you get used to, maybe where you get started, and who trained you in the first place. A lot of things, maybe you just happen to find some really good sites, and your style of writing really goes along with the people that are your audience. There's a lot of factors there that come into play. For me personally, I have found that email marketing with safe lists, viral mailers, has been the most successful. Now, so we're talking about how we want to put those messages that go out in our own words. And I'll tell you one thing right now is you do not want to fake it and think that you're going to, number one, if you don't believe in what you're doing, that's going to telegraph. Number two, if you're trying to pull the wool, you can pull the wool over some of the people some of the time, and some of the people part of the time, whatever, but you're not going to do it all the people all the time. You're going to get caught. So you just be yourself. That's the one thing that I was told a long time ago, was to be myself. I can't be a bushy-headed guy for obvious reasons. I have to be who I am. And That is what you do. Just be yourself, because people like you, the real person. And so just be yourself. And when each one of these leads, prospects, is put a face on them, and believe, get to know them, their name, whatever, and think of them as a real person with real needs and real problems, just like you have. And when you're interacting with them, is just give them your full attention at that point. I know some very top marketers that actually call on the telephone every single one of their prospects. Now, they're not into numbers so much as they are into quality, and they're probably have what's known as running through a funnel, and have got a few really great prospects, but they do work with them one-on-one. I'm going to talk about. I don't like to keep these. I want to keep this an hour, but I want to talk about some cases that I have discovered that I want to share with you, and then a little wrap-up thing I want to do. Number one case is M&G Marketing launched a few months ago. These two guys, Mike and Glenn, they've been around in the leads generation and list building for years and years and years. And they built a huge list. And they introduced this site that was much, much more successful than they hoped for. They had to add new servers, equipment, and every other kind of thing, software rebuilds to keep it going, because they were overwhelmed with customers. The key thing was there were two key things that came into play. Number one, they had built a huge list. Number two, they were offering something that people wanted. They were offering a almost a set it and leave it system. It works very well for me. The one thing that they have that I have not seen anywhere is, as a member of M&G, you earn commissions from everybody in your downline, and it's what's called a forced downline, which means that everybody under me is under somebody else's downline. I can't place them there. I'm actually in there, and I know that I have an associate that joined under me, has done nothing, and she earns around $50 a month, but she's done nothing. When I say nothing, nothing. And I don't know of any place that you can actually earn money and do nothing. I see them every day, do nothing and do. I've never seen one work, but that one does. So much for that. But that's where building a list pays big dividends. The other one is Ben Holsinger, and Ben was a tough nut to crack. He's young, and he's pretty smart, and he pretty much believed that he could figure it out on his own. So I let him run out there, and he'd come back a couple of weeks later, and he'd ask for some advice, and over a period of a few months, and so he decided to go full time. It was October last year, and he made $2.98. And he said, I'm ready to listen what you have to say. So I told him basically what I'm telling you tonight about building lists. And that young man has passed me in the last couple of months. And he's got MS, pretty serious MS. But he called me the other day and thanked me for helping him. He said it works. And that's all I needed to know was, yeah, it works. And finally myself, I struggled. Listen, anybody tells you that they are in internet marketing and they got into it and everything was peachy keen and they started making money right off the bat, blah, 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 like that. I don't know. I think I'd run fast as I could, because it's not that easy, but it's possible. But if you get a hold of the right people and you find the right person, the time frame that it takes to go from here to here, it's much, much shorter. And it took me a long time to find somebody like that. And in my case, George Kosh at World Profit was the person that put me on the right track. And up until that time, I really didn't have a plan. I just tried this and tried a while. I go over here and try this and tried a while. I had Amazon stores and eBay stores and ClickBank stores, and had created my own dogs website. And then I did a horses website, and I did a recipe website, and I did a coupon reps website. I started selling everything I got with this one site. I was trying to sell welding rods, and I mean, it was just crazy. And finally, I joined World Profit, and it all started to make sense. That I was just wandering around in the woods, and I developed a plan. And since then, everything has made a lot more sense. But so, let me look at my notes here 1 second. These are the two sites I'm talking about. Now, if anybody is not a member of Team Elite Responder or Ad Lead Profits, number one, if you're not and you know somebody that is, join under them. But Team Elite Responder right now, I've got to. You can join those two sites for $1 and you can make money because it's instant commissions at Ad Lead Profits. And I'm watching some people make money and not really having anything invested. And that's a new one for me, because most of the time I had to invest quite a bit more than I'd going to make the first couple of months. But you can get started for nothing. Now what happens is the reason I'm doing that is once you get started and start making money, you're going to want to upgrade so that your commission rate goes up and all like that. But there it is. I mean, there's your chance to get started. And one of the things we do at Team Elite Responder is we do a lot of webinars like this. We do a lot of email coaching. And today, for example, I sent out a post about the commencement speech at the University of Texas by a Navy SEAL, a veteran Navy SEAL. And that was very inspiring if anybody read that. And it's for everybody all over the world could read that, because it was just good information that the world needs to hear. It inspired me to a little bit more discipline, you might say, how discipline is good for us. And the thrust of it was that 10 people could change the world. And basically that's how the internet works, is you actually can build a business from a remote location because of the nature of making contacts, and then them making contacts and them making contacts. So there's a lot of good information in that post. Anybody's interested, let me just add one here. Let me add the blog. Oh, there's supposed to be a dash in there. So, yeah. Display it. HTTP, it's my-ctm.com. Oh, it's got a space there. Hang on, let me fix. There we go. It's myctm.com. So that's kind of wrapping it up. Just summarizing the 3 P's: make a plan, promote, and have patience. I think they're all 3 equally important. I think the plan, everybody's plan needs to entail some type of list building, and I think patience is about as important as any of it. Every day I see people throwing away a lot of money. I promote Team Atlantis with Traffic Wave, and I had a person. The way that works is it's 3 people under me, and it's 9 under those 3 under each of those 3. And I had a person that was my number 3, which means that every 3rd person that I refer would be in her downline. And once she got, I think it's 3 or 4, she gets half of their income because of the nature of the way the commission is set up. And she quit after 30 days, and the person that filled that slot is making considerable money, and she just let it go. And she said 30 days was enough. And I tell it's. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you're only going to give something 30 days, you're not doing that site justice on yourself. So I'm going to say that one last time because it's that important. Internet marketing, develop a plan, and I'm going to suggest that lead capture be a part of that plan. Promote, and that I use email marketing, safe lists, and traffic exchanges. And finally, be patient. And whatever thing you're in, whatever site you're in right now, I highly suggest you stick with it, get in there and believe in it, and understand what makes it work. Find out and have contact with those that are very successful there, and hang in there. Jumping around is not going to get you anywhere, because at Team Elite Responder, we try to help each other. That's one of the things we do, is we do try to help each other, and it does work. And sometimes your buddies around you can be your best source of inspiration and knowledge. So with that, I'm going to leave you tonight, and God bless you, and thank you very much.